The Houston Texans dominate the Baltimore Ravens, winning 44-10. Let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? It's JC. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And man, we got to talk about the Houston Texans, man. They just whipped up on the Baltimore Ravens 44-10. Now, before we get into it, I know the Baltimore Ravens, and respectfully, they're missing like 8 out of the best 10 players, right? No Lamar. No Kyle Hamilton, no Roquan Smith, no, I think Ronnie Stanley too, no Matabuke up front. So they're missing a lot of guys, right? This was a game that the Texans had to come in and dominate, and that's what they did. They were clicking on all 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. That first drive drove down the field, no issues at all. It was a balanced offense. I believe at one point in the game, they talked with TJ Watt. If you were listening to the broadcast, it was 99 yards rushing, 99 yards passing. And, talk about balance. You had balance. The O-line held its ground, I would say, but still with some miscues, guys coming off the edge free. That's got to be sharpened up. But other than that, it was almost a perfect game. Almost a perfect game. One thing I would like to point out, CJ Stroud, 85% completion percentage. So he showed up, threw it to Nico. He had some good passes, I should say. In the first 2 quarters, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a third down. He threw it in a tight window to Dalton Schultz. I thought that was big. And then that touchdown pass he threw to Nico Collins, right down the middle. Nico, made had that touchdown reception over Nate Wiggins. So CJ showed up. Talk about the running game. Now, people thought that it was Woody Marks, that he was the bell cow moving forward, but we saw a little bit more Nick Chubb, than most probably thought, right? Nick Chubb, he had a rushing touchdown. Woody was sprinkled in the offense too. He made, had some solid runs as well. And shout out to Cyclones, the Iowa State Cyclones. I believe Noel scored, Hutch scored, right? And then Higgins last week, he scores. So we got all these Iowa State guys, and they're making plays for us. And we got to talk about the defense. The defense. If you've been watching what I've been saying, if you've been watching videos I've made on the Texans the past couple of weeks, right? Championship caliber defense. And even when his team was 0-3, I said this is a championship caliber defense. The offense just has to show up. And that's exactly what they did. Pretty much shut down that Ravens offense, right? Outside of that big chunk play to Zay Flowers. And then that touchdown was I had an issue on that touchdown run by Derrick Henry. I don't know if you all feel the same way, but his momentum, it was 2 efforts, right? He ran and had a second effort, right? But then the momentum was stopped. And then he reached the ball out underneath and they called a touchdown. I thought when the momentum stops, you can't just, use your hand and, reach over. Maybe that's me, but hey, defense showed up. Petrie, 2 picks, right? That first pick, when he broke on it, I believe Derrick Henry was in the flat. He broke on that pass and outstanding play. And then his second pick, Mark Andrews. I forgot who came up and hit Andrews. He bobbled it up. Petrie came down with it. And then Kamari Lassiter towards the end of the game. Rashad Bateman kind of gave up on the route. Kamari Lassiter didn't. And he picked it off. Great pick. So this defense showed up and got pressure on Cooper Rush. Again, you play who's in front of you, right? You play who's in front of you. I believe this was the first time in Texans history that they beat the Ravens in Baltimore. So that's a milestone right there, right? Man, going into the bye week, you string together 2 wins over the Titans, now the Ravens. You get some rest, right? And you like what the team is coming off that bye. You got Seattle. Now, the schedule isn't easy, right? You win the division last year, so your schedule is tough, right? I don't see a lot of games on the schedule that like, oh yeah, this is a for sure win. But I think this team has what it takes. When that offense gets clicking, and we already know how great this defense is, this team can make a run. This team can make a run if that offense is clicking. I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered. You know, not the best opponents, right? In terms of the caliber of players that you're going against on the defensive side. But, you know, you get into a groove, you get into a rhythm, and you can, you know, that momentum can carry, you know, for weeks, right? CJ finding stride, right? So I like the performance that the Texans put up today. A little revenge game from last year and the year before in the playoffs, right? Last year on Christmas, embarrassing loss. Year before in the playoffs, Lamar just ran through the whole defense. So it was a good win. And one thing to talk about, Joe Mixon. Anybody know, are there any updates on Joe Mixon? I feel like every time I read anything about Joe Mixon, it's very unclear on when he's coming back, if he's coming back at all. But, you know, Woody Marks stepped up. Nick Chubb, great game, had a rushing touchdown like I mentioned before. So hopefully, you know, the Texans are turning that corner. And when you look at the division, it's not that division. It's not the same AFC South, man. The Colts, they're 3. I believe they just put up 40, right? They're 4-1 now. Jags are currently 3. I don't think they played their game yet. So this is going to be it's an uphill battle for sure when it comes to, you know, being in, you know, top 2 in the division. I think the top 2 teams in the division this year probably get into the playoffs in the AFC, right? I think that will be, you know, where you have to be in the AFC South. It's not the worst. The football is not the worst division in football anymore. Put some respect on the AFC South, man. But yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the game.
On this memory here at Rocker Park. That is theme. Somebody leave the basket. We're gonna see him on the post. Snacks. Tell me yesterday, HBC.
Man, once again, man, I appreciate you having me, man. And congrats, man, on the platform. And I say keep it going, keep doing your thing.